Hi, it's Kim McGrath from Expressions of the Universe with your Sagittarius season stars and cards for all zodiac signs. And this month, I'm going to use the Moonology deck by Yasmin Bolin. I haven't used this for quite some time, and so I thought it would be appropriate that we're coming into the full moon, the full beaver moon in Gemini. So let's get started. I just want to do my disclaimer, which is in the presentation as well. This video is just for entertainment, folly, information. Always seek appropriate professional medical advice from your doctor or medical professional. Okay, so we have Sagittarius season on deck. So normally I do the month by month, like November, December, but because I'm so short on time, I haven't really been putting out the videos like I normally do. So I figured let me cover Sagittarius season. And then when we're halfway through the month, I should have more time on my plate. Just busy with a lot of family stuff and planning a baby shower, painting a mural in a baby nursery. There's a lot going on right now in my realm. So here's my disclaimer, and then the rest of it, just for my protection and the censorship. So here we have Sagittarius season. The sun moved into Sagittarius November 22nd. I posted a calendar for the season on Facebook and Instagram. Then we had American Thanksgiving. Hopefully, those who celebrated enjoyed their time. Mars entered Sagittarius. I had a post about that, and it could be really great, but we have to caution ourselves about getting burned out because we could be so full of energy. It's fire on fire. Um, Also, there is a caution about being too dogmatic and pushing your views and your opinions on other people. November 27th, we have the full beaver moon in Gemini. It's just under 5 degrees at 4:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the first of 5 full moons around 4, 5, 6 degrees. We'll say 5 degrees, rounding it up. And so that's really important because it is all about change and the changes that are coming. Conversely, the new moons, there will be 5 new moons around 20, 21 degrees. So that would be about changing thoughts and beliefs, in my opinion. December 1st, Mercury enters Capricorn, prepares for retrograde. I can hear all of you sighing right now. The pre-retrograde shadow began on November 25th, just so that you're aware. And with it being in Capricorn, it could be related to money and foundations. Um, the full beaver moon represents the beavers getting ready and preparing their dens for winter, gathering up what they need because they'll be going inside. So it's representative here in the northern hemisphere of us preparing for winter, the winter solstice coming up. And so you want to think about what it is that you need to prepare for the coming few months that will be entering winter. It is a slower time. It is a time for rest. It is a time for us to go within. and embrace that darkness and the coldness, and to snug up and light the fires or candles in our home for the warmth and the light that we need. December 1st, oh, I just said that. December 4th, Venus enters Scorpio. And so that could be a little hot and steamy, a little frisky. So that could be that could be welcomed. December 6th, Neptune stationing direct. Um, mention some of the important notes. Let me back up to the full moon in Gemini. So that full moon in Gemini, Sun will be in Sagittarius. It's squaring Saturn and it's opposing Mars. So Saturn could be restricting us verbalizing, pulling things inward, and Mars could, have us boiling over a little bit. Our minds will be on, moving on overtime. Saturn will be moving between 1 and 3 degrees of Pisces. Health wise, it could be a time for a lot of like chest congestion, stuck mucus, elderberry, peppermint are really good. But like I said, you have to seek professional medical advice from your doctor. What I found out today with my ear, nose, and throat problem, that cleavers and plantain, which I have tons of plantain all over my property, reduce that congestion. And I should have known that. And I have cleavers. Um, I've had intermittent ear, nose, and throat stuff. And I was really sick for 4 months with that. So I'm going to have to keep that in the back of my head, talk to my doctor about that. Mars in Sagittarius, which it just entered this past week. There's a caution there that our animals or our pets could be running off, getting loose out of the yard, getting off of their leashes, running out the front door, etc. So you really want to be extremely diligent because our animals are I've noticed in my own Bailey, she's been driving me nuts all weekend, barking at things. I think she's maybe seeing Barley. His 1 year anniversary's coming up. But she's just been a powerhouse. So watch your animals. Restless legs and insomnia are definitely going to be prevalent this week. Linden is a good help for that restless leg syndrome and insomnia. I also recommend, some cozy bedtime tea, nice warm baths with some Epsom salt could definitely help. Now, December 3rd, which I don't have up here, but moon opposite Saturn, moon in Virgo, Saturn in Pisces could cause a lot of delays, latenesses, late people. And that's when I'm having my daughter's baby shower. And so I don't need any snafus or faux pas and people. I need everything to be like on point, on time. So just be careful also driving, especially with Mars in Sagittarius, in Sagittarius. No T on that. All right, December 4th, Venus entering Scorpio. Nothing on that, but December 6th, Neptune stationing direct. We can expect oil or gas spills, leaks, whatever. Viruses start to become more prevalent, immune system issues possibly. So you're really just pay attention to your health, make sure you're getting enough rest. Especially if you have Virgo, Pisces, Libra prominent in your chart, like the sun, the moon, even rising sign between 22 and 26 degrees, be really careful about going out into crowds, into large crowds. You could be more susceptible to illnesses. This is a really lucky moon, by the way. Moon time December 6th through the 7th. So December 7th, first night of Hanukkah. December 8th, which I don't have on here, but the South Node will be conjuncting the moon in Libra. It could lead to depression, kidney issues, feet issues. And you want to beware of sedatives or things that suppress alcohol or any type of medication, because it could be even more potent and also detrimental. December 9th, super fertile time, tinctures or herbalist moon, great for improving libido or GYN issues. December 12th, new moon in Sagittarius at 20 degrees. Like I said, it's the first of 5 new moons at 20 degrees. However, this is a manic moon. It will possibly cause insomnia. Normally on new moons, I'm very tired. I sleep a lot, several days before and after. This is an insomniac's moon, a lot of bipolar mania activity. Mercury is also retrograde, December 12th, 13th, depends on where you live. So here on the East Coast, it'll be the 13th, but it could be December 12th for the middle of the United States and West. So you got to be careful with misdiagnoses, but also mistakes, making mistakes at work. You don't want to do any type of super detailed work because our minds are just not in that place. Also want to caution hips, thighs, femurs, falling down, ligaments, sciatic, constipation, which causes sciatic. And a good help for that is Epsom salt baths because it has magnesium in it, or trying to get a magnesium supplement in you. But you really do have to check with your doctor on that, because the magnesium, depending on, whatever your current condition is, any medications, if you're pregnant, you need to talk to your doctor before you take anything. So then we have the Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. We're going to be rethinking about our foundations, our foundational structures, finances, our work, definitely, for sure. So just trying to figure out, like, if we're in the right place in our lives, and how can we restructure some of those things. December 21st, winter solstice. It's also the time when the sun moves into Capricorn. So I'll end the month there, and then I'll have to come back and pick up for Capricorn season. But the moon is on the North Node, moon in Aries, North Node in Aries, and then it quickly shifts into Taurus later on December 21st. So with the sun being in Capricorn and then the moon in Taurus, we have double Earth. That will be a trine. It's super fertile. It's a great time to build bone and muscle, or to start, some sort of regiment that would be geared towards setting the intention for building bone and muscle, bone including feet. And then I'm going to leave it at that, because then we're into Capricorn season, and then I'll come back with that later in December. All right, so for the Mercury retrograde, we have want to exit this so that I can, 'cause I don't think, oh, I can do it. Okay, I wanted to blow up the screen so that you could see it a little bit better. All right, so in my printout, I have the legend, and I get this information from astrologyhoroscopereadings.com. I usually Google Mercury retrograde and then whatever year it is, and then I'll see this image and then I go to that website. It's like the easiest way for me to do it. I know it sounds a little convoluted, but when I try to go to their website and then I got to search through all of the content, it's easier to find the image and click on that and then hit the visit button. But the pre-shadow phase, then the actual retrograde phase, and then the post-shadow phase. So here's the calendar for that. We're in the pre-shadow phase as I'm recording this. And then when it hits the red phase, that's when it's actually retrograde. And then I don't have the information for the post shadow, but I'll bring that back when I do the Capricorn. So here's the breakdown. It's the third Mercury retrograde of 2023. Mercury will actually go retrograde in Capricorn at 8 degrees on December 13th and direct station in Sagittarius. So it's going to go all the way back to Sagittarius at 22 on January 2nd, and then it has to move all the way back through Capricorn. So the Sagittarius is a need for freedom. So like I want to caution people to not quit their jobs during this time. The economy is not good. It is not stable, no matter where you are in the world. This Mercury retrograde doesn't have you thinking fully clearly. And those are some of the themes. And Sagittarius wants its freedom and its independence. This is not a time to be making any of those major decisions. All right, so here is the full moon, the full beaver moon chart that will be coming in on November 27th. Hopefully this is coming through clearly because I'm having a little bit of problems with my computer here not being able to see so clearly. And I think I need to restart it, but I have so many things up that I don't want to do that. Now the moon, I want to point out, it's in the 8th house where I'm located, where I'm reading this from. The 8th house does talk about the other world, the other side, death, transition. With it being in Gemini, this is about us having to come to a place of acceptance of the different cycles in life in general. And with the sun being in Sagittarius in the 2nd house, that is about our values. This is the holiday season, and we get very sentimental during this time. And I think it's going to be very representative by this full moon, especially being in the 8th and the 2nd house. Money is definitely big on our mind, bills, things, other obligations to other people, but also very much about the cycle of life, birth, death, rebirth, transition. Also, too, what's on the rise is Scorpio, which typically rules the 8th house. And from my notes here, this is considered a very feminine moon, even though Gemini is masculine or androgynous. So, there's a very fixed nature, not wanting things to change, yet the moon and the sun are both immutable signs. So, like, there's this outward flavor of fixity when we need to be more fluid and open-minded and open-hearted. Um, we could be very shrewd and resourceful and perceptive. There's secrets that are abound. Um, there could be some difficult battles ahead for us, some personal crises, and definitely there's a big indication here about the public health and the public status. So that's why I was saying with the Neptune stationing direct, there the astrology is set up that it looks like a lot of us could be very susceptible. We are coming into cold and flu season. So, it's important to take, I mean, me personally, I take D3 and zinc and elderberry. I get a great dose of C vitamins with fresh squeezed orange juice. I take my B vitamins. Um, you just want to eat really super healthy also during this time. There could be with this moon a morbid, sentimental sense, thinking about all of those who have passed and gone before us. There's a lot of fire in this chart for sure. And then a lot of air as well. So it's very fixed yet mutable at the same time. So we are probably going to have a lot of procrastination issues on our hands during this time. So I don't think it's a really good time for us to be making decisions. Let's see. A lot of the thoughts that are on our mind, going back to those eight house themes, it's very much embedded in the metaphysical nature of the world, thinking about what happens after death and the energies that are at play in human relationships. Very much the theme here. And why do certain events seem to be synchronized? Like all these philosophical thoughts that we could be thinking of. Um, Questions that give us food for thought. And we could be, some of us, very sensitive to the emotional undercurrent in many situations and may even want to explore them further for the whys and the hows, the reasoning behind things, even if it means exploring the world of occultism or metaphysics, the things that, just typically are not answered um, in everyday life, just exploring physics, metaphysics, and different occult topics. So then we have the new moon in Sagittarius. I'm kind of probably want to come back and do a more in-depth study of this. But here we have sun and moon at 20 degrees in the sixth house. The sixth house is our everyday life, day-to-day duties. It's also our physical and mental health. Um, this could be a really difficult time mentally, and I even pointed that out. We could feel euphoric, but it could be a false sense of euphoria. Um, Especially because Mercury is stationing to go retrograde not too far off from this point, and it is moving back to 22 degrees of Sagittarius. So it would essentially be conjuncting this new moon in Sagittarius. You want to be cautioned about dogmatic, preacher-like pushing your opinions on other people. It's like live and let live. That's my motto. If you believe something, great. If you could find somebody that shares that belief with you, great. But don't try to push agendas onto other people. Like we need to be done with that. People need to start staying in their own lanes. Hopefully, I will be able to come back with a more in-depth video with some stars and cards for this new moon in Sagittarius. All right, and so I wanted to point out, I'm going to go back to this full moon that we're having November 27th. And you know when I say, when I talk about look in your chart to see where Gemini lands or where, whatever, where is this showing up in your chart? Want to show you an example because this full moon that we're having is hitting so many different points in my chart because I am a Gemini. Um, so I have my chart here. And I just thought that I would blow it up a little bit. So we have on the inner wheel is my birth chart, and the outer wheel are the transits that are happening, how the planets are aligning. So this full moon is at 4 degrees, 51 minutes of Gemini. My Mercury is 4 degrees, 27 minutes. So it's right on there. Also, too, so because they're all jammed in here, they're not spaced out properly. Jupiter is at 7 degrees, 28 minutes of Taurus. Look at my ascendant. My rising sign is 7 degrees, 20 minutes. And then also my Jupiter is at 9 degrees, 49 minutes of Gemini. So it's very close. And then, of course, my sun, my north node, all kind of aligning in there. And I'll tell you why this is important. Also, too, so here's the sun in Sagittarius. I have my south node in Sag at 13. So it's not completely conjuncting, but to me, it's kind of close enough. Here's the thing, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. I have Jupiter in Gemini. And that's considered to be in its detriment because it's in the opposite sign. So what I did was, and I'll show you once I make my screen bigger. Our pointer finger is Mercury, is the Mercury finger, okay? And because I'm having a prominent Mercury transit right now, pointer finger, I got it's called a pukra or a guru stone. Let's see, let me show it to you. And you either get it in yellow sapphire or citrine, and you wear it on your Mercury finger. And it's supposed to, it's also, I'm sorry, it's not the Mercury finger, it's the Jupiter finger. I guess we're in the shadow of Mercury retrograde. I'm not thinking. It's the Jupiter finger. Your index finger is the Jupiter finger. So by wearing yellow sapphire or citrine on your Jupiter finger, it will cure any type of maybe, Jupiter issues that you may have. And I was especially concerned because Jupiter will be conjuncting my own personal Jupiter within the next 6 months-ish to a year. And typically that is a very prosperous time for people. But because I have Jupiter in Gemini, it's in its detriment, its opposite sign. I usually have some catastrophes that start out when Jupiter moves into Gemini. And that's everybody will have their Jupiter returns every 12 years. It will line up with the placement of your own personal Jupiter where you were born. So you can kind of think about, your when you're 12, when you're 24, et cetera, et cetera. Think about what those years were like for you. And that would give you an idea of what your Jupiter years are like. Most, like I said, most people, it's supposed to be a really benefic time. But for me, and I'm assuming it's because it's in its detriment, for me, I don't find that to be so. So, doing the cure with the Pukra Guru Jupiter stone. We'll see how that's going. So far, so good. Um, and there's a whole mantra that you have to say 108 times after you do the cleansing of the stone. And I'll post that in the companion blog in the next couple of days, sometime in the first week of December, when I can get that published. But yeah, so this is just a really good example of when I say, oh, well, where does this moon fall in your chart? For me, it's right on my Mercury. So I'm going to have to be very mindful of my communications and the things that I say. And that's just one little example of what transits can look like in your chart. And now the stars and cards for all zodiac signs. I have your horoscopes that I have pre-written, and I have your cards pre-shuffled. So yeah, this is what the ring looks like that I got. And hopefully, trust me, it doesn't do it justice. What looking at it here, it's really gorgeous. And yeah, so hopefully that will bring me some luck, bring me something better than a tragedy or a catastrophe. And I thought that it was especially important because of this full moon in Gemini, me being a Gemini, and Jupiter is currently on my ascendant. There were like so many things lining up that I thought, okay, you know what? Let's do this. Um, Pukra stone, and I'll give you more information in it on it in my companion blog in the coming week. Okay, so let's start with Aries. Aries suns, risings, and moons. Okay, so Aries, enjoy the chaos. There's fun to be had all around you. It might be the time to embark on an adventure. Remember, adventures don't have to be far from home. Get creative and see what kind of shenanigans await. Challenging days would be December 17th, 18th, rewarding days, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 29th, 30th, and 31st. And your card, oh, wow, full moon in Gemini. How about that? That's what we're getting ready to have. But it says the answers you need are coming, Aries. There you go. So it's a good time for you to, I don't know, do some meditation and ask for the answers, and they should be coming soon. I feel like I look like a hot mess, man. Anyway, it's casual Sunday. Taurus. If an opportunity crossed your path only to fizzle out before it got started, not to worry. You may get another crack at it. If not, it's only because something better will come along. Make sure you're paying attention. Your challenging days are the 19th and 20th. Your rewarding days are the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. Wow, that's only 2 weeks away. Love that. So luck is on your side. Just remember, something good is coming for you, Taurus. Gemini, happy full moon, Geminis. You may be feeling overwhelmed. Take some time to catch your breath. Do things that recharge your battery. Doing things that recharge your battery will go a long way in lifting your spirits. If you're calm, you can do your best work. Challenging days are the 21st and 22nd. It's the solstice. Rewarding days are the 7th and the 8th. And you have a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer, which comes at the end of the month of December. Interesting. So we'll have to see what those personal issues that are going to resolve themselves by the end of the month, right, Geminis? Cancer, communication is like walking through a minefield right now. You'll get the chance to explain yourself or revisit a conversation that didn't go well. Try not to let your feelings get in the way of objectivity if the relationship isn't of a personal nature. Challenging days are the 23rd and 24th. Rewarding days are the 9th, 10th, and the 11th. And your card is conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. That's really pretty. Conclusions are within reach. Something's coming to an end. And that's true because full moons are the culmination and the shedding, right? So Cancer, by the end of December, something's going to fall away. Leo, you're all jazzed up, full of energy and ready to take on the world. Commit only to long-term projects you'll love doing when you have less energy. Otherwise, once everything slows down, you might find you have way too much on your plate. Challenging days are the 25th and 26th. Rewarding days are the 12th and the 13th. And your card is you are very close to achieving your goal. Gibbous moon. That's really pretty picture. Gibbous moon, when things are waxing and full. You're very close to achieving your goal. So Leos, think about what are your goals that you want to wrap up for this year? Maybe think about what your goals for next year are. Virgos, little virgins. Everybody has opinions, and whether you agree or not, they're entitled to them. And that's what I've been saying. Like, we can't push our agendas on other people. Your communication is clear and concise, but how others respond is not in your control. Say your piece and move on. Anything else isn't worth your time. Challenging days, the 1st, the 27th, the 28th. Rewarding days are the 14th, 15th, and 16th. Your card. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. So, Virgos, has that been on your mind lately? Your safety, your security, your needs to prepare for this full beaver moon. What are you preparing? Don't worry, you will have what it is you need. And it's saying that you and your loved ones are safe and secure. Count your blessings, Virgos. I was saying Cancer because of the crab picture, but count your blessings, Virgos. Libras, it might be time to go to ground. Might be time to go to ground. Okay. I wrote that. Maybe maybe I have a typo. Although your friends are wanting to spend more time with you, sometimes a quiet night in is exactly what you need. So this is what I'm thinking is that I meant to say it's like time for you to get grounded, time for you to like maybe go underground, like a little hermitize. If you're finding your energy low, pace yourself. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Challenging days, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 29th, the 30th, the 31st. Oy vey. That's because of the South Node in Libra. Your rewarding days are the 17th and 18th. And your card, a new start is coming. I love that. And the card is new moon. So that's pretty beautiful. I know that a lot of Libras are going through some pretty difficult times right now. So don't worry, a new beginning is coming. Okay. Scorpio, just finished Scorpio season. A little introspective is called for. What is important to you? Do you feel your values have changed since the last time you checked in with yourself? Once you've answered these questions, make some adjustments in your life and watch how things unfold in a beautiful way. Your challenging days are the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Your rewarding days are the 19th and 20th. And your card is, what do you need to release? And it's the waning moon. So after this full moon, you want to think about the things that you need to let go of. That's part of what your introspection and your contemplation is going to be about. What do you need to release, Scorpios? Sagittarians, happy birthday, Sag. It's a highly charged time, and there are escapades to be had. You're right in the heart of what brings you joy. You may be overly stimulated now, so check in with your body so you don't overdo it. Challenging days are the 7th and the 8th, rewarding days the 21st and 22nd. Your card is a time to give rather than take. New moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. And I think Sagittarians, they're all caught up in this holiday season, the time of giving. So I think that's right on point. New moon in Virgo. Pretty beautiful. Capricorns, just when you think you've been clear and concise, someone comes back confused and full of questions. Don't sweat any misunderstandings. Revisiting communications will give you the chance to make sure you said exactly what you wanted to get across. That's going to be Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. Challenging days, the 9th, 10th, 11th. Rewarding days, the 23rd, 24th. And feels like two cards, but it isn't. It's look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. Interesting. Look at the bigger picture. See the full scale. Do not dwell on the minutia. Do not Mercury retrograde your minds, Capricorn, into the minutia. See the bigger picture. Aquarius, get out and enjoy some culture. Eat food from another country or learn about another religion or ideology you've always been interested in. Expanding your base of experience or knowledge will keep your synapses firing just the way you like. Challenging days, the 12th and the 13th, when Mercury's going retrograde. Rewarding days, the 25th and 26th. And you have prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. Prosperity lies ahead. So I'm wondering if there could be some promotions or upgrades for Aquarians coming in the new year. Pisces, last but not least. On one hand, you may be feeling held back, but on the other, feeling hard pressed to spring forward. Do what's right for you. If someone else is urging you forward, make sure it's what you want. If it's coming from within, remind yourself that timing is everything. And remember, Saturn is in Pisces for 2 more years. So there are restrictions, there are delays. And you don't want to jump off of a cliff in a leap of faith because you're impatient. Challenging days, 14th, 15th, 16th. Rewarding days, December 1st, 27th, and 28th. And your card is a new romantic cycle begins. Oh, wow. All the Pisces I know are already romantically engaged, but it could be a revamping. And it's a new moon in Libra. So going back and taking a look at how you're balancing out your relationships could really bring some brand new life to your relationship. So that's all I have for all y'all for Sagittarius season, at least to hold you over for the next couple of weeks. Coming into beautiful full moon, then a new moon, and I will be back with more stars and cards for all zodiac signs. Until then, have a great December, and I'll be back in time for Capricorn season. Thank you so much for watching. Now I got to get back to all of my baby shower festivities. That's why I'm recording here, because the whole house has baby stuff everywhere, and I can't wait because I only have to have it in my house one more week, and then it's all going to the baby shower. And I only have 2 more months until my granddaughter Ruby will be born. I can't wait to meet her. It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait to do her chart. And I really have been having a lot of great ideas for the coming year and what I'll be offering for everybody. So hopefully it will pan out. So stay tuned, and I'll see you soon. Thank you again for watching. Bye.